What's up everyone? A few things to talk about today. One of them is this pump here I've just pulled apart. Now I'm working on an ebook at the moment that will go up. The reason behind it is I haven't actually had that much time to get to everyone's questions, and the more people that see these vapor blast units, the more people want to build their own. And now the more people piling on, it means that I can't get back to as many people as possible. I work full time, so this is just kind of a side hustle thing. So I'm building to sell, but I'm also trying to keep this YouTube channel updated. Just breached 1,000 subscribers, so thanks to everyone who subscribed. I want to cover a few extra things now, try and expand out on the ways that you can build these things. So I actually had a question the other day on the nozzles, whether you can use a standard gun. So today I want to go over using the standard gun. It can be done, I don't like to do it, but there have been people who have successfully built cabinets using the standard blasting gun that comes in like the SBC 200, 220, that sort of thing. So I will cover that a little bit later. I pulled apart this pump, and the reason was the seal went in it a while ago. I actually tried to tear the seal out because I wanted to see how long it'd last, being that they're not actually built for this. So I ran massive amounts of aluminium oxide through it. Now they're not designed for this sort of thing, they're designed for maybe a little bit of food scrap and anything else that you might find in your dishwasher. So it had a really hard life. But I thought while it's apart, I'll actually use the housings as a demonstration while I'm trying out these standard guns. So that's what they look like now. They've got the trigger on there, so there's no need for a foot pedal, but I'll just start on one of my existing cabinets and I'll just go over what to do to use these ones. They'll actually work alright as they are, but you can do a couple of things to make them a little better. So that's what we're going to cover today. Again, I've been getting a lot more messages come through, not just questions. We've actually had a few people sending through images and videos of what they've built. So one of them comes from a guy, Steve, in Australia. Big thank you to Steve. He's been pushing what we're doing on this channel here as well. So again, thank you, Steve. I'll put a link to his YouTube channel in the description and maybe up in one of the cards if I can make it work like that. Just shoot over, check out his video, like and share his stuff. One of the coolest builds I've seen so far, and it's really cool to actually see people pushing the boundaries and designing the cabinets around what they like. So Steve's got a few cool ideas he's put in his. Perhaps the reservoirs might be a little large. He did mention that in his videos, but that's not a big problem. The way he set it up is very easy to fix. And the other cool thing was he's actually set up Arduinos in the control box, in the electronics. So you can actually toggle stuff on and off with a push of the pedal. It's very cool. It's something I wanted to do in the past, but all my builds have been relatively rushed, so I've never really gotten around to it. So thanks for your input, Steve. Again, one of the coolest builds I've seen. And for the rest of the viewers, head on over there, check out what he's done, and maybe it'll give you a few extra ideas for what you want to do. But for now, I'm going to install this gun into one of my other cabinets. I'll shift the camera around and we'll give it a test. We'll throw these pieces from this dishwasher pump in there to blast up, see how we can get them looking, and a little bit later, once I've tracked down a seal for it, I'll go over a video of pulling apart and replacing the seal in these dishwasher style pumps. They're a lot easier to get a hold of. People throw dishwashers out all the time because the electronics give out on them, while the pumps, the solenoids and everything else in them are actually still in working condition. So if you want to build on a budget, you don't have access to sandblasters, it's a really good way of getting some usable parts. Like I say, they're not as good, but they will do the job. You'll be able to build a serviceable cabinet. So we'll cover that, we'll cover the gun, and other than that, I think that's about all I've got to say for today. Again, thanks to all the subscribers, and keep an eye out. I hope I can get this ebook together within a week and have it up. So that'll be available shortly. That should cover most of the questions that I have been asked. So that's a really good starting point, and if there are any further questions, then yeah, don't hesitate to ask on this channel. But the community is growing. There are more and more people out there building things, so you should really not be struggling to find the information you need to build anything. So yeah, let's get into it. So this is the cover we'll be blasting. Just try to give you an idea of what it looks like before, and we'll just put it in the cabinet now. Right, so we're all set up in here. I've got the gun attached. As you can see, it's only sort of put in there temporarily. There's no clamp on the water inlet line, the slurry inlet line. That's because the pressure is not really high enough to blow it off. So it'll do for just what we're doing here, just for a quick test. So I'll just fire it up. See, the water level's a little bit low. That's what happens when your water's too low. It takes a lot longer for it to prime, just because of the way that the pumps work. But you can see there seems to be a pretty good flow coming out of there. And then when you let the air in, so let's give it a go. So there we go. Now, it's quite patchy doing it with these. I still haven't quite worked out why. I think it's to do with the size of the nozzle and the gap between the air jet and the back of the ceramic tip. So not a lot you can really do about that, but it shows it will work. It's much better to build your own using those same tips or buy something from online. But it shows it can work if you're not too worried about the finish. I mean, it's not really of a professional quality, and to be honest, if I was doing a job for a customer, then I would not do it this way. Just because you don't really get that nice deep dark sheen that you get with a better nozzle, like one that you build out of the plumbing parts, like you'll see in some of the other videos that I've made, or if you buy a proper one online. But it goes to show it can work. And if you're just doing your own stuff out of your own garage and you want it to look a bit better and sort of restore older looking parts, things that look like that, it'll do the job. Now, a couple of things with these nozzles, if I can just find the other one, it's here. When you look down, just try and get the light in there. Might have to take it apart. When you look down here, first of all, you can see it's not quite centered. So you might have to try and bend it or do something to center it up. They're very cheaply made, not the best at all, but you center that up, and what it usually does, I think, now I haven't really tested this properly, but I think because it isn't quite centralized in the ceramic tip, it kind of creates a vortex running up the inside of the tips, and it actually makes a very funny fan shape when it comes out. But for some reason, I don't think it's mixing the air coming in properly with the slurry jet that's coming out. And I think because it's coming out more of a jet of water with like a vapor off one side of it, where it is actually mixing with the air, is causing a much smaller work area within that fan. The other thing is, just try and, there we go there. I don't think the gap around that nozzle is enough to get the full effect of the slurry coming through. So in that other gun, I tried to grind a little bit out on the inside, and it did help a little bit. But again, if you can use one of these, you can see that's really, really dirty. It's been used a lot. It'll work a lot better. But what I wanted to demonstrate was that if you're really stuck, you can use this type of gun. It's not the best, but I mean, it'll do what you need it to in a bind. And if you want to sit there and spend a lot of time going over and over the work, then you can get it to look a little bit better than that. But if you're working for a customer, you don't want to be spending hours and hours and hours because you can't charge enough to cover your time. So in reality, if you're just doing a little bit for yourself, then you can use that. But I would suggest building your own or buying one if you want to do more than just the bare minimum. Alright, so I've got the covers all vapor blasted up, looking nice. Both of them. I went and put the other gun back on there just to save a bit of time. And then I actually went and vapor blasted all the plastics as well. I've painted the center part with all the coils in it, but the screws were pretty rusty. So what I did was I put them in the sandblaster. If I can get that to focus better. Put them in the sandblaster, clean them up first, and then I just put them in an ice cream container with a zinc anode, and just gave them a quick zinc plating. So they look a heap better as well. This is the seal that needs to be replaced. I don't actually have one right now, but I will assemble it because it's easy enough just to take that off and put back a new one when I get it. Other thing was the bearing. The front bearing in it was a mess. I don't know if you can hear that. So I need a replacement of those as well. I managed to pull that off easy enough. But funnily enough, they're actually identical to skateboard bearings. So there's an old one I had. Well, it's actually new. I've never used it. Never went in a skateboard or anything, but it's sat around. It's got a little bit of surface rust on it. But I'll put that in and put it all back together. And then we have it all back together. A little bit of paint, some vapor blasting. Looks damn near new. And if I can just get that. There we go. Running away. Nice and quiet with that new bearing. I'm pretty happy with that.